as a financial advisor for over 20 years, what's the best question I've ever been asked? You know, the most common question is, hey, Azul, do I have enough money to retire? How much money do I need to retire? And those are super important questions. But the one that's likely going to have the biggest impact on your life is this question. Hey, Azul, what have you learned from other families that lead them to be happier and enjoy the hard work, the sacrifices that they've put in to build this nest egg? How can I enjoy my money? How can I use it as a way to lead a happier, more fulfilled life? And that's what I want to share with you in today's video. So let's just jump right in. And first off, happy families are really looking at what's important to them with this money. They're not looking at, how do I impress my neighbors? It's really, what are the things that I value? And going after those things as opposed to doing the things that they think millionaires should be doing. A good goal, I'm not saying it's the only goal, but a good goal towards retirement is building towards that $1 million mark. Now, fewer than 10% of all Americans will retire with $1 million in savings, but it's a good goal to be going towards. So, how are millionaires looking at this? So the first thing is they're looking at what's important to them first. And it doesn't mean that they're not driving a fancy car. For some of my clients, driving a nice car is really important to them. But they're buying that car because they enjoy driving that car. They're buying that car because they enjoy how that car handles, how that car feels, and as opposed to keeping up with the Joneses. So that's the first thing. The second thing is really focusing on the things that they enjoy and that are important in their life. And we all have different things. I have clients that, keeping up with fashion is really important to them. Obviously, that's not my thing, right? My thing is travel, right? So my thing is my travel and helping my two daughters that are in their early 20s to kind of for them to be able to enjoy their lives a little bit more. So that's me, but I have some clients that are into fashion. I have I have other clients where their thing is their house. They want to live in a nice house. Now, I'm fortunate. I live in a ski town in Utah. It's a great community, but I live in one of the smaller houses in that community. And my home is not impressing anybody, but that's not my thing. My thing is the adventure and activities that I get to do in the town, the skiing and the mountain biking. So that's another thing, is just what is important to you and focusing on that. As people climb this hierarchy of building their net worth, of building their wealth, initially, and I grew up in a lower income family, so this was my situation as well. Initially, money is the ability to pay the bills, the ability to put a roof over your head, and the ability to, have security and to know you're going to be able to pay next month's rent and buy food next month. So that's the first level of hierarchy with money. And then a lot of folks go through this stage where the next level is, using money to impress other people, to buying some of these niceties in life and kind of keeping up with the Joneses. Now, I never suffered too much from that, but it is a temptation for most of us. That said, when I was in college, I had bought a used sports car that had been in an accident, and I fixed it up. But you know what? It was fun to have a sports car that I had fixed up in college, and it helped me enjoy my 20s more. So again, if it's something that you enjoy, great, do it. But the next level of that is really wealthier people are looking at money as a tool to help them make more money so that they can do the things that are important to them, so that they can help support the people that are important in their lives, so that they can help support the causes that are important in their lives. So it's looking at money as a tool and looking at it as something that enables them to live the best version of their life, whatever that is. Again, it's not, I said they're not trying to keep up with the Joneses. And I think that's an important piece of it, right? So many people, as they start making more money, get caught up in this lifestyle creep where the more money that they make, the more money that they spend. And the question is it really bringing them joy? In fact, in the United States, over half of the people that make $100,000 a year or more don't save a dime. Nothing, zero, zip. And to me, that's crazy. Now, there's a couple reasons for it. And a big one is oftentimes these higher paying jobs are in cities that are more expensive to live in. And that's just a reality. I don't think there's anything quote unquote wrong with that. That's just a reality, right? It's more high paying jobs in New York City, San Francisco, Los Angeles, Miami, Boston, places like that. Those are expensive places to live. So part of it is they have to pay more money. In fact, there's been studies that show that the after housing cost salary, so if you net out housing costs and taxes, that people making over $100,000 a year in these expensive cities really are no better off than if they were making maybe 20 or 30% less money, but they were living in a lower cost city. But again, that's one of the factors that causes people that are making $100,000 a year to not save any money. But it's not the only factor. I would say the second large factor is just, spending money to impress people. We've talked about it already. So as opposed to a tool to make more money. And, the challenge is, in order for us to get financially independent, the goal, we really have to save that first $250,000. And that's one of the core messages of my channel, is to become financially independent. Do what you can to save that first $250,000 as young as you can. Because if you can do that, then you have a base of money that's working hard for you over hopefully a long enough period of time that it can really move the needle for you. Now, I'm borrowing this, or building on, I should say, this $250,000 base comes from somebody, a famous investor that I admire and respect a great deal, Charlie Munger, who was Warren Buffett's business partner until Charlie passed away at the age of 99. Loved working, worked until almost till the day that he died. But his famous quote from 1994 is, you have to do whatever you have to do to save that first $100,000. Even if it means you don't eat any food, Charlie said, I'm paraphrasing, but you don't buy anything that you don't have a coupon for. And once you save that first $100,000, Charlie says, you can ease off the gas a little bit. And so I am modifying that quote because it's not 1994 anymore. And $100,000 is not the same in today's dollars. I think that bogey in today's world, as I record this, is closer to $250,000. So we do what we have to do to save that first $250,000. And then we can ease off the gas. And along the way, be thinking about, how can we use this money as a tool to make my life better, to improve my happiness? And the older we get, the more we realize that the stuff that we buy, that's not the key for happiness. For most of us, the key to happiness is going to be relationships. It's going to be spending time with people that you love. It's going to be doing experiences, buying experiences. And for me, I would also add in there adventures. I love experiences and adventures, in addition to helping out people that I love and spending time with people that help me become the best version of who I am. And that's an important thing to a lot of us, is striving to constantly be the best version of ourselves. How can we, in 5 years from now, be a better version of ourselves that we are today? And how can our money be a tool to help us do that? So a common way to do that is, if you have money, where you can level up your skills and invest some money to make money. Now, I'm not saying you go back to school and you do a 4-year college degree or a 2-year college degree, but there's a lot of things that there's nothing wrong with doing that, but it takes a lot of time, obviously, by definition, and it can be expensive. And in today's world, information is generally free, right? I mean, you can take computer science, computer coding classes from Stanford and Harvard online for free. That information is there. So it's not just the information, but it's the transformation. So I suggest to people as they're looking at leveling up their skills is the first thing is, like in my parents' case, neither one of my parents ever made more than probably 2 times minimum wage, maybe 3 times for short periods of time in their life. But anything that you can do to level up your skills, when you're in a minimum wage job and let's say you're in retail and you're making a couple dollars an hour more than minimum wage, boy, you're going to be very successful if you can negotiate an extra $1 an hour. That's really, really hard to do. But a much easier way to start making more money is to change your skill set, to add on to your skill set. And then in many ways, you can double or triple what you're making. Let me give you an example. Like my daughter is a nursing student in college right now. And when she was working a minimum wage job, she decided to go back and get a certified nurse's assistant certification. Took her a couple weeks. It was less than $1,000. And she went from making a little bit more than minimum wage to making 3 times minimum wage. And with that, instead of working 20 hours a week, now she only had to work 8 hours a week. And she had extra time for her studies, or she had extra time to continue to skill up. And that's the secret, is as you build this base, as you start to skill up and make more money, you can use that to continue on that journey. Now, many of my viewers are 40 and older, right? We're either in or about to enter the youth of our senior years. But you know what? We can do this as well. We can level up our skills. Maybe we're in a full-time job and we're thinking, I'd like to be able to retire sooner. You know, many of my viewers, as we're running the numbers, we're thinking, you know, I like what Azul's talking about, retiring in my 50s, but I don't know how to make the numbers work, right? And oftentimes it's this either or thinking. I'm either going to retire or I'm going to keep working, but oftentimes the solution is in the middle there. It's both. So is there a side, what young people would call a side hustle? Is there a job that you could do that doesn't have the intensity, that doesn't have the pressures, that doesn't require a 9-to-5 job, it doesn't require a half-hour commute to work? Is there a side hustle that you could do to earn an extra $10,000 or $20,000 a year, or whatever the amount is, that would give you geographical flexibility? It would give you time flexibility, where you could work when you want, from where you want, and work with, you know, the types of people that you want. So is there something like that you could do? And rather than make the type of money that you're making now, maybe you do something else for half time or a fourth time. You work 1 or 2 days a week, and that gives you the money where you can enjoy the youth of your senior years, which is part of my channel. Related to that, this video here talks about 5 reasons to retire as soon as you can. Kind of is taking up where this video is leaving off. I know you'll enjoy it. Thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you in there. Bye-bye.